Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I just fixed up my hair somehow so I look presentable. And my hair is one of those things, you can't control it. It doesn't matter what length it is. I've had it really short and then, and then longer, and now it's longer. It's like my hair can't be controlled. And I feel like often my hair kind of tells me, yeah, that your hair tells a lot about you. You can't be controlled. Can't be controlled. Don't think that I did not try to be very, I don't want to say submissive yet. Uh, what's the word for it? Trying to be pleasing, per se. Trying to uh, uh, kind of adjust. I'm not finding that word. There is a word for it, and I can't find it right now. And though I tried, I found that suddenly I would lose a part of myself. Yes? Well, I'm not a person out there that's out to get anyone or to hurt someone on purpose or has schemes going that will benefit me or the people closest around me or anything like that. I'm not like that. Yes? And yet, I have a personality, a character that questions practical reasoning. I like that. Two things: parental God, practical reasoning, right? Yes? They don't mix. All right, all right, all right. Well, let's just get going here. I got work to do, so I think. We're in 2 Samuel, and it's chapter 2 supplements. The great famine and the execution of Saul's descendants. Aren't we done with that yet? David's already king, and and Saul's descendants are still. You know what? Just with the overhead again, this that. People know anything about all the royal stuff that's been going on everywhere in the world. It's always the same thing. It's like the fear of your throne being taken, the rebellion to take the throne from someone else. It's like, my gosh, if they would have put as much emphasis and strength and determination into caring for the people that were sustaining them, my, how the world could look different. Okay, all right, just I said that. So we're in 2 Samuel 21. In the days of David, there was a famine which lasted for 3 years on end. David consulted Yahweh, and Yahweh said, Saul and his family have incurred blood guilt by putting the Gibeonites to death. Then the king summoned the Gibeonites and said, Now the Gibeonites were not Israelites, but were a remnant of the Amorites, to whom the Israelites had bound themselves by oath. Saul, however, in his zeal for the Israelites and for Judah, had done his best to exterminate them. Hence David said to the Gibeonites, Oh my gosh, where is this going? What can I do for you? How can I make amends so that you will call a blessing down on Yahweh's heritage? Interesting. David did not just take it upon himself and say, Well, if God says Saul's descendants have, I'm just going to go and take them out. No. He goes to the Gibeonites and says, I want to know what you want. I'm going to do what you want. Are you guys getting this? Guys, you get that blame game started? and then take it out on the innocent. Yeah, you're telling me God had something to do with that? All right. Yeah. As it suits you, right? As it suited them. What can I do for you? How can I make amends so that you will call a blessing down on Yahweh's heritage? Also, we're talking here about people who were not part of the Israelites, but taken an oath by, okay, God did the same thing. Okay, I'm just saying, yeah, I see where this is going. The Gibeonites replied, our quarrel with Saul and his family cannot be settled for silver or gold, nor by putting to death one man in Israel. David said, say what you want, and I will do it for you. Then they replied to the king, the man who dismembered us and planned to annihilate us so that we should not exist anywhere in Israelite territory, which that's a new one. Where did that happen? We had a genocide going on of the Gibeonites. Oh, I must have missed it. Or right over it. Okay, all right. Comes in handy now, doesn't it? Then they replied to the king, the man who dismembered us and planned to annihilate us so that we should not exist anywhere in Israelite territory, we want 7 of his descendants handed over to us, and we shall dismember them before Yahweh at Gibeon on Yahweh's hill. I shall hand them over, said the king. The king, however, spared Meribal, son of Jonathan, son of Saul, on account of the oath by Yahweh binding them together, binding David and Jonathan, son of Saul. Isn't it either all or nothing? The king took the 2 sons born to Saul by Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, Armani and Meribal, and the 5 sons born by Merab, daughter of Saul, to Adriel, son of Barzillai of Meholah. He handed these over to the Gibeonites, who dismembered them before Yahweh on the hill. The 7 of them perished together. They were put to death in the first days of the harvest, at the beginning of the barley harvest. Hi, Father, were you happy with all that dismembering and blood and... Wow, what kind of God are you? Can't help people misrepresenting him for their own desires, their own... Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, wearing sacking and spreading some out for herself on the rock from the beginning of the barley harvest until the rain fell on them from heaven, kept the birds of the sky away from them in the daytime, and the wild animals at night. David was told of what Saul's concubine, Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, had done. David went and recovered the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan from the notables of Jabesh and Gilead. The latter had stolen them from the square in Beth Shean, where the Philistines had hung them when the Philistines had defeated Saul at Gilboa. David fetched the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan. The bones of the men who had been dismembered were collected, and these with the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan were buried in the territory of Benjamin at Zelah, in the tomb of Saul's father Kish. The king's orders were carried out to the letter, and after that God took pity on the country. My wild hair is reacting to this and wants to say, how dare you use God like that? How dare you? How dare people still today use God like that? To put another human being down. Huh? Yes? Or in the way that the descendants are supposed to carry the responsibility. One gives people a chance to restore. not to kill them so that you feel better. Okay, well, anyway, it is what it is out there even today. Mm. And yet, we have, even in today's world, people who are willing to forgive the perpetrators that have caused a absolute horrific, horrible murder, death of one of their loved ones. Hmm. I find that the rare thing often speaks closer to the truth on how we should relate to God. Yeah? Okay. Various exploits against the Philistines. Once again, the Philistines made war on Israel. Why, they hadn't had enough yet? David went down with his retainers. They fought the Philistines, and David began to tire. There was a champion, one of the sons of Rapha. His spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze. He was wearing a new sword and was confident of killing David. Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to his rescue, which reminds me, by the way, however, attacking the Philistines and killing him. That which reminds me that Amasa was the one that David put in charge of being the general instead of Joab. And how did Joab fix that? Yeah, okay, all right. Then it was that David's men swore the following oath to him: "You are never to go into battle with us again, in case you should extinguish the lamp of Israel." Really? One man could do that? Not much there then. After this, war with the Philistines broke out against Adgob. This was when Sibbecai of Hushah killed Saph, one of the sons of Rapha. All these new names. It's getting too complicated with the names, this and that. I wonder if that's just to confuse everybody. Again, war with the Philistines broke out at Gob, and Elihanan, another one, son of Jair of Bethlehem, killed Goliath of Gath. Wait a minute. Was more than one Goliath? Yeah, right. You're going to believe that? So David didn't kill Goliath. He just knocked him out. The shaft whose spear was like a weaver's beam. There was further warfare at Gath, where there was a man of huge stature with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. Okay, 24 in all. Holy cannoli, the stuff they came up with at that time. Hey, that was entertainment, okay? They didn't have videos and DVDs and TV and I don't know what. He too was a son of Rapha. With these abnormalities? Well, abnormalities. It's not uncommon that uncommon. It is rare, but it happens that someone's born with more than 5 fingers. Okay, more than 5 toes, but on all of both hands and both feet. Okay. He too was a son of Rapha. When he defied Israel, Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, brother of David, cut him down. There were 4. These 4 were sons of Rapha in Gath. What the heck does that have to do with anything? And fell at the hands of David and his retainers. That's the end of 21. Okay. My hair. Hmm. I said I was reading this also for the reputation of God. Right? And I think by now, anybody that has listened to the videos or has and said, I'm going to go and read this up on myself, right? To get deeper understanding on my own, right? Rather than listening to Daniela and her 2 cents to it. But if we have not figured out by now what's going on there in the Old Testament and on how God absolutely was just used whenever it was convenient. And again, to go back to what he told Samuel in the first book, it's going to turn into a mess. He also told Samuel, and Samuel didn't seem to have, it's in there for a reason. Samuel didn't seem to hear God when he said, the people don't want my guidance. What did the people of Israel end up doing? Hmm? Just using God. Left and right for their own way of doing what? Establishing power, greed, letting people know on how, hey, look, this is how it works. God is with us, for them to submit. Yes? In many ways, it's still like that today. When I think of the explanations on how women are codependent on their husbands or their boyfriends or men in their life that are abusing them, beating them, and they're not leaving, they stick with them. It's called codependency, I think they call it. And it's such a weird one. Why, as a woman, would you do that? The first time that a man raises his hands towards you, you realize, whoa, wait a minute. What happened here? You should leave. You should take your children and you should leave because you have help now. It isn't as it was in the old times, where you literally could starve at the side of the road and nobody would care, neither about you as a woman or the mother and your children. It's not like that anymore. Don't submit like that. And I feel like the explanation of, oh, people become codependent and they're worried and they fear this or that is just another excuse for these women then to say, yeah, I can't leave. Yes, you can. Trust the one presence in your life that will not desert you, will help you through everything if you're the one willing to do so. And that's our parental God. It really is. Anyway, yes. Uh, a tribe that's not even a part of Israel. David says, well, it's already happened, but I'm going to give you justice. And that's his way of what? Killing off everyone in Saul's family except for Meribal, supposedly. Though Meribal's mentioned in there too, so did he survive or did he not? To kill them all off. For to appease a people, a tribe that doesn't even belong to God's people. And, well, David, did you not also slaughter women and children, everyone, certain places? Well, what was that all about then? And what's the difference here suddenly with the Gileads? Uh, it's very sad. This is so sad to read to me. And yet, it also gives so much clarification on why things are still the way they are today. I'm not going to tame my hair, though I've tried. I like how wild my hair is. Yes, I have it tied up right now in a way so that it at least isn't falling all over me, so I don't look like a crazy woman. I like the way my hair is. It reminds me that God gave you that hair for a reason as well. Yeah. All right. What do you think? Juniper is sitting over there by the open window, just, oh, yeah, I was up all night. I think it's time for me to take a snooze. Up, time change happened. I saw a good one. Two cats on Facebook was a post said, yeah, we know that you think you're going to get an hour longer to sleep today, but I tell you what, we do not want our breakfast an hour later. Love the cats. Oh, by the way, too. So remember, year before, it says, oh, yeah, now they're planning that the next time, the time won't go back and it'll just keep staying the way it is, right? All the time that way. Oh, that didn't happen. You see? Let's not believe things that haven't really been implemented yet, though someone is trying to tell you, yo, yeah, this is what's going to happen, because it didn't. Yeah. Anyway. So there it is. I think that we need to just abandon that time change altogether again. It's a bad idea. Oh, but it wasn't. Yes, it was a bad idea. It does not go with the flow of the principles of creation. It just doesn't. Yeah? Yes? And otherwise, I'd like to mention that real quick, then I am right that anything that has to do with the stars, the sun and the moon, and however time flows as well, that we can throw that out as well then, right? Don't go ahead and believe in that kind of stuff if you're willing to change time for certain better things in your life, not everybody's, that then is happening. Yes? We just need to say no to daylight savings time. This is a bunch of boohoo. Somebody, as I've said that many times before, somebody behind the desk didn't have enough to do and came up with this harebrained idea. It's not serving anyone. It's not serving me. It isn't serving any of my animals here. I know from having to bring my children to the bus stop, it's not serving anybody. Okay? Except for, I don't know, people who lounge around longer in the evening, doing I don't know what to have a few extra minutes of light. Just saying. It was a bad idea. We've done this long enough. Let's get rid of it again. I'm sick and tired of having to change my clock around, which I actually haven't in more than 2 years. I just know that's actually the actual time, but yeah, I know. And I rarely need to worry about that regardless. My animals can't read time. None of them. And we have a lot of them. I'm the one who has to change every time. They don't. None of the plants out there cares about that freaking daylight savings time either. So I'm just saying, get rid of it. Okay? Yes. We don't need that. This is just an extra hassle in everyone's life. I had to say that. All right. Happy Lazy Sunday. Now I am going to be doing some things today. I should show you what I did. I just don't conform to. Maybe at a later time. Me and my wild hair. Interestingly enough, me and my wild hair keeps me on the straight and narrow. Buddy, you better get out of here because you're not going to survive if you don't find your way back out of the house. All right. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.